Chapter 1 The Konoha 11 Assemble. Author notes: this chapter is based on the events of Naruto episode 107, the start of the Sasuke Retrieval arc. Shikamaru had just received his first mission as Chunin from Lady Tsunade to save Sasuke and prevent the Sharingan from falling in the hands of the Hidden Leaf's number one enemy, the legendary Sannin Orochimaru. The previous attack on the Leaf and an influx of threats meant that none of the older Chunin or Junin were available for this mission. Sasuke already had a knight's head start, and Shikamaru had to reach him before he left the borders of the Land of Fire and ceded the terrain advantage to the enemy. Shikamaru Nara, 13 male, quirk unknown. His quirk allows him to manipulate his shadow in addition to standard ninja techniques. Shikamaru had missed out on Shino and had been obligated to take along loudmouth Naruto, though he now had his best friend Choji on his team, along with Kiba and his dog Akamaru. Kiba and his dog had noses and knowledge of the Land of Fire that would provide them the edge they needed to counter the disadvantage imposed by their opponent's head start. Because of the time constraints, unless they met any other genin on the road, Shikamaru would have to stick with his team of 4 and hope that they were enough to overcome their opponents. Kiba Unuzuka, 12 male, and Akamaru, dog, quirk unknown. Quirk description: they possessed ninja abilities that allowed them to mimic each other and use canine-related abilities. This is in addition to standard ninja abilities. Passing by the hospital, they met Neji and Tenten, who had gone to visit Lee, still recovering from having his left hand and leg crushed during the tuning exam. On explaining the situation, Neji and Tenten agreed to join them. Good news for Shikamaru, as Neji's Byakugan would provide great tracking and coverage, and Tenten's weapon skills provided additional offensive firepower. Lee, though saddened by his inability to help, saw this as motivation to push forward and speed up his recovery. He needed to make sure that he was there for his allies. Neji Hyuga, 14 male, quirk Byakugan. Quirk description: his special eyes allow him to see very far in almost 360 degrees, view the energy flow in living things, and disrupt the energy flow in his enemies. He also possesses standard ninja abilities. Arriving at the gate with his now team of 6, Shikamaru's luck seemed to have taken a turn for the better, as Shino, Hinata, and Ino were already waiting there. He wasn't sure if it would be a bigger drag to bring them all along, but he now had a bigger pool of gaining to pull from. Sasuke did what? Ino shouted, surprised when Shikamaru briefed them about the current situation. She had been out picking out flowers at the gates that morning. I'm sure that they kidnapped him. There's no way Sasuke would betray the village. Kiba, didn't you say that Shino was on a mission with his father? Shikamaru grumbled at Kiba, clearly annoyed that he'd been lied to. His father got reassigned to another mission, so Shino came back. Hinata's meek voice explained. You told Hinata and not me? Kiba snapped at Shino. Shouldn't we be heading out? Shino directed his question at Shikamaru, completely ignoring Kiba. It's time to go, Shikamaru stated. Alright everyone, follow me! Naruto shouted enthusiastically, taking charge of the situation and almost charging forward. Begrudgingly, Shikamaru explained to Naruto that being the only Chunin, he was in charge of the team, and the others would much rather listen to Shikamaru than Naruto anyway. Before they would head out, there was a small debate about who would come along. The Chunin now flashed with choices. Shino and Kiba wanted Hinata to remain behind, as while her Byakugan would prove useful, none believed that she had the physical prowess to hold her own in a fight. Naruto was not happy about this. Naruto Uzumaki, 13 male. Quirk unknown. Quirk description: his massive energy reserves allow him to create many clones of himself or blast enemies with the ball of energy. He also uses standard ninja techniques. It's okay, Naruto. I don't mind staying behind. This annoyed Naruto even more, as he felt like she was conceding too quickly. Ino, on the other hand, was welcomed onto the team, despite similar concerns, since Shikamaru vetoed, arguing that her mind transfer jutsu would be a greater trump card against unsuspecting enemies. The benefit of a second Byakugan in the rescue mission far outweighs the impact of that jutsu, Neji argued. I have to agree with Naruto. Lady Hinata, despite her physical shortcomings, would be more crucial in this. Shikamaru grumbled again. Fine, he'd make a plan for 9 then. Taking into account everyone's ability, he opted to go for a diamond formation. Kiba was the front diamond head because of his and Akamaru's strong noses and knowledge of the terrain. As leader, Shikamaru would be the second right in the formation, using hand signals to direct the others and react to situations. Shino was diamond left, providing offensive support and additional reconnaissance information to Shikamaru via his insects. In the middle row, Naruto and Tenten formed the left and right wings with Hinata in between. Hinata's Byakugan would scan for hidden traps and enemies, providing additional reconnaissance support that was missed by the first two rows. Tenten's abilities and weapon support would provide a supply of tags and kunais that the rights of the second and fourth row would be able to rely on, that is, Shikamaru and Choji. Naruto, because of his shadow clones, would provide coverage to allow Shino and Ino, the left wings of the second and fourth rows, to set up. Additionally, they would guard Ino's body when she used the mind transfer jutsu. With Choji and Ino forming the respective right and left wings of the fourth row, Neji's Byakugan provided the support for the rear. Each wing would provide view coverage for their side, with Neji's Byakugan covering the entire rear and Hinata's Byakugan providing a wider forward view. The others were impressed by Shikamaru's thinking, particularly Lee, who had come down to support his friends before they headed out on their endeavor. Any questions? Shikamaru waited as the others shook their heads. Since no one has anything to add, I saved the most important thing for last. For as long as I've known him, Sasuke and I have exactly not been close buddies. In fact, I don't particularly like him at all. The others were surprised by this admission. All the same, he's a ninja belonging to the Leaf Village. He's a comrade, and I'll put my life on the line to help him. That's the way of our village. I know I usually seem like a pretty lazy guy, but not today, because now I'm responsible for your lives too. There was a brief pause as the air held heavy. "Ah, Shikamaru," Ino chimed in. "I'm so proud." "Wow, I never thought I'd see Shikamaru acting like a chunin," Kiba stated, a devious smile on his face. "Very impressive." Sasuke would never let someone like Orochimaru sink his teeth into him, Naruto thought. He's a complete powerhouse. He doesn't need the extra help. Naruto was desperately trying to convince himself that his friend needed his help and hadn't left voluntarily. "Alright, let's move out," Shikamaru ordered. "Wait!" a feminine voice shouted as they were ready to leave. They all turned to see Sakura standing behind them. She stood sullen, her hands clasped in front of her. Whilst her intentions were not clear, Shikamaru found it necessary to explain to her that she wouldn't be allowed to join the mission, as she was unable to convince Sasuke to stay, and she was too emotionally involved to act objectively without compromising the others. "Sakura, did Sasuke turn his back on you?" Naruto asked, still resistant to the idea that Sasuke had left voluntarily. "Damn it, Sasuke," he gritted his teeth. "Naruto, if you'll ever do one thing just for me," Sakura started, tears rolling down her face. "Please let it be to bring back Sasuke." Naruto clenched his fist, biting his lower lip on seeing the pain in his face. He still couldn't understand how his best friend could be so selfish. "Sakura," he muttered. "Please, Naruto," she pleaded. Raising her head, through the blurry veil of tears that covered her face, she wasn't sure if what she was seeing was real. She must have been imagining it, the blue-tipped dark black hair and the sharp brooding face. "Sasuke?" she muttered, looking past Naruto and the other genin. This drew the attention of the other genin, who turned to confirm that Sakura wasn't deranged. Stumbling towards them, far from the distance, was the reason the team had assembled this early. Sasuke Uchiha stood in the distance, his body covered in wounds. "Sasuke!" Sakura shouted, wiping the tears off her face as she rushed towards him, shooting past the others. "Sakura, wait!" Lee called after her, stumbling forward to join the others outside the gate. "Byakugan!" Neji thought as Akamaru barked wildly. As the veins appeared around his white eyes, Neji focused around Sasuke, realizing it was a dark mass of chakra. "Sakura, that's not Sasuke. Shadow possession jutsu! Secret technique, insect bind." Shikamaru and Shino thought respectively, reacting to Sakura's enthusiastic sprint. Shino's mass of insects and Shikamaru's shadow shot towards Sakura, whilst the others stood by, paralyzed with inaction. Just as she was about to grab her injured teammate, her body froze in place, her fingers mere millimeters from Sasuke. She felt 1,000 legs crawl around her swaying arm, almost pulling her back. There was a collective sigh of relief upon realizing she was safe. Ew, Shino, Ino shuddered, seeing the black mass of creepy crawlies wrap around Sakura's arms. And this is why you can't come along, Shikamaru reminded, taking a step back, which Sakura imitated, the latter forced to follow his shadow's movements. Seeing the cringe on her face, Shino released his bugs from her arm. That damn Orochimaru, playing such a dirty trick on us, Naruto growled. We are lucky we had Neji's fast thinking, Tenten complimented in a smug voice. And Shikamaru's quick wits, Ino pointed out, her team not to be outdone by Team Guy. Shino also did well, Hinata's tiny voice broke through. What matters is that we all work together as a team, Lee, who was now being held up by Akiba, after dropping his scratches to go after Sakura, said. He was standing right next to Shikamaru, who maintained his jutsu using a hand sign. Akamaru and I said something too. Oh, I didn't hear you barking or jumping up to help, Shino muttered in a low stoic voice. Hiba growled. Akamaru and I are one. His accomplishments are mine. That you would steal the glory from a dog, Shino added. Hiba's face went red, his growl turning into a roar as he lunged at Shino, throwing Lee off of him and onto Shikamaru. Shikamaru was thrown off balance as he tried to keep his hands together, but his fumbling pushed Sakura right into Sasuke's chest. She immediately realized the danger she had put them in. Her eyes widened as she felt their body give away to a black mass. This mass expanded rapidly before any of the Genin could react, sucking them in, and just like that, the Konoha 11 had disappeared from the hidden leaf.